I'm going to share my top 5 undervalued comic books, as well as issue a tag challenge. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Still Only 35 Cents. For this one, as I mentioned, we've got a top 5 of my favourite undervalued books out there. So if you're looking to invest, take a look at these books. In addition, what we're going to be doing is running it as an old school tag challenge. What I want to try and do is highlight some of the new and upcoming YouTubers and get a sense for the books that they think are undervalued. We'll cover that later on in the stream, and I'll go through each of those individual YouTubers and leave a link down below. But before we get started, the usual stuff. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell for future content. And with that, let's get down to my countdown of the top 5 undervalued comic books. To kick us off, at number 5, we've got Venom 3. This is the 3rd printing, and this book is notable because it is the first appearance of Knull. Now, Knull had a lot of spec early on when he first appeared in the Venom run by Donny Cates, but it's died down a bit since then, so I still believe that this character and this book has real long-term appeal, and I think right now you can pick up a bargain on this book, and is undervalued to a real extent. So if you're in the market for some Venom keys, and in particular a really high-powered villain, I'd be going with this first appearance of Knull. What's great about this cover is that it features Knull on the front cover sitting atop his throne, ready to dominate the Marvel Universe. So if you haven't already, go out and grab this book, severely underrated and undervalued in my book. Next up, we've got another spec book from a couple of years back. This one is Ghost Rider 31, and it's notable because it has the first appearance of the Midnight Suns. Now, that project has been rumoured for the MCU for the longest time, so I thought that this was a good one to sort of reinvigorate in terms of getting it out there and suggesting that this book is undervalued. Values have dropped significantly over the last few months, and you can really pick up some cheap copies of this title if you go hunting. Again, I think this is a really good book for spec, as well as being a great title in its own regard anyway. So if you're in the market for Midnight Suns, go out and grab this book. Number 3 on my list is my perennial favourite. This is DC Comics Presents number 26. This one's notable because it features the first appearance in preview of the new Teen Titans. Again, a book that is not really massively spec'd on, and it's pretty certain at some point that the new Teen Titans will appear, as well as being the basis for that cartoon show on the Cartoon Network. Again, I think this is a really good book to pick up, both from a long-term and short-term spec, and again, I think it's something that should be in everyone's collection, and right now, severely undervalued. Number 2 on my list is Marvel Premiere number 15. This is the first appearance of Iron Fist. Now, we know that this book has significantly cooled off since the Netflix series that wasn't as well received as it should have been, and also, let's be honest, well produced. So here's hoping that this book will see a bump in the near future when, or if, Iron Fist reappears in the MCU. But regardless, this is a great book to own. The first appearance of a Bronze Age martial arts hero, and I think one that is very undervalued and underrated. And number 1 on my list is Demon number 1, Jack Kirby goodness from DC in 1972, featuring the first appearance of Etrigan the Demon. This is a great character, and I have high hopes for him in James Gunn's DC universe on the big screen. So again, I think this one is super undervalued in terms of the title and the book. It's a really tough book to get in high grade, so again, if you haven't already, seek out Demon number 1 in any grade, because this book in my mind is severely undervalued. And to close off my undervalued books, I wanted to give you an honourable mention. Now, this is not just limited to one book, this is limited to several, and I've got a few examples here to show you. One of the things that I think is severely underrated in this industry and in the comic book community is Pence copies, and I am a bit of a hoarder when it comes to those. You can see here I've got a Marvel Presents number 1. This is the first Bloodstone UK price variant. These price variants are very hard to get there a minuscule amount of the total print run. I've got a Marvel Premiere 28 here. This is the first Legion of Monsters. Again, pence copy. You can pick up as many of your US cents versions as possible, but it's hard to get these UK price variants, particularly in high grade. The thing about the UK price variants that not a lot of collectors know is they were printed at exactly the same time with exactly the same printing presses. So to all intents and purposes, they're the same book, just a small variant. Now this one, Daredevil 1, and they went all the way back to the Silver Age, as you can see here. So you can collect from 1960s all the way through to the late Bronze Age, and you get some nice key books within the actual UK price range. So again, I think these are highly undervalued, and so that's why I've been collecting these, and I'd urge you to do the same. Here we have a UK price variant of Amazing Spider-Man 1, and you can even go back to some of the mega keys. I'm still looking for others like the Avengers and the Fantastic Four, but this, as you can see, is a Hulk #1 and a UK price variant to boot. Minuscule amounts of this compared to the US version on the census. So again, if we're rewarding newsstands and we're rewarding price variants of US copies, why are our UK price variants undervalued? Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that list of comic books. As I mentioned, this is going to be a tag challenge. So what I thought with this is I wanted to give a shout out to some up and coming and new YouTubers in the community. Give them a chance to also talk about the undervalued books that they have or they want to get. So starting off, I'm going to go with Ricky at All Sorts of Words. I've done a number of live streams with Ricky over the last few months, and I'm really impressed by his knowledge, particularly of indies and early DC books. So I'd be very keen to hear his view on undervalued books, particularly in that era. On top of that, I'd also like to put forward Brandon at Mon Comics. Again, another YouTuber I've worked with and done a few shows. Love talking to Brandon and would love to know what books he thinks are really undervalued and his top 5. And then to close us out, we've got Hagen at Lettuce Comics. Hagen's a brand new YouTuber and his content is really good, so I thought it would be a good exercise to get him to give a list of the undervalued books that he thinks should be in his top 5 and hopefully pay it forward to him. The rules of this, simply all they have to do is list their top 5 books and then think of 3 new YouTubers each to suggest to give their top 5 undervalued books. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the content today. If you did, please hit that like button down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell for future content. And with that, I will see you on the next live stream. That's on Monday. We're going to be doing a retrospective of Todd McFarlane and Peter David's run on The Incredible Hulk. So stay tuned and hopefully join us on that show to see the greatness of Todd and Peter David writing The Grey Hulk. And with that, take care of yourselves till next time, and we'll see you soon. Don't forget to check out our other videos or our weekly live stream, The Merry Monday Mail Call Show, as well as follow us at Still Only 35 Cents on Instagram, Facebook and X. Nuff said.